Hello, wonderful beings. Welcome to the 67th episode of Wheel of Wisdom. Are you able to see and hear me fine? Can someone confirm? Are you able to, see me? Is my audio and video clear? Before we begin, I would love a confirmation and then, yeah, we can proceed with the live. Can you see and hear me fine? Hi, Lisa. Hi, Jana. And thank you, both of you, for the confirmation. I appreciate it. And good morning to you, Jana. It's so nice to see you both coming back. I'm glad that, something from the previous live resonated with you and you decided to tune back in. I hope that everyone present here receives something of value from this live. So, welcome. So, before we begin, I also want to know like, is anyone joining us for the very first time? Because we have been doing these Wheel of Wisdom since January of this year. And yeah, if there is anyone who is joining us for the first time, then I would like share what we do in these lives. And if not, then we can just, go with the flow and start with the practice for today. So let me know if anyone is joining for the very first time. Okay, it seems like everyone have been here before. Wonderful. I'm glad that you decided to tune in. Okay, so how we start these lives is that you might know with a meditation to open ourselves, to be more receptive, and to raise our vibrations so that we can now receive the higher wisdom. So, are you guys ready for the meditation? Type ready in the comments if you are, and we will begin with the meditation for today. Okay, beautiful. Jody is ready, Jana is ready, Lisa is ready. Wonderful, and welcome, Jody. Okay, begin by coming into a comfortable position. You can either sit, stand, or lie down, whatever your body needs right now. As you settle into this posture, make sure that your spine is tall, your shoulders are relaxed, your head is in alignment with the spine, looking forward, and your hands are either resting in your lap, on your knees, or by the sides of your body. And now, if you feel safe, close your eyes, or alternatively, you can lower your gaze, looking downward at the floor in front of you. This helps us limit visual distraction so that we can turn our attention inward. So now, as you arrive in the here and now, before we even begin the practice, take a moment to reflect. Why are you here right now? What do you hope to receive from this practice? It could be a sense of calm, more focus, or simply a break from the noise. Once your intention becomes clear to you, hold it gently in your heart, like planting a seed. And let it be there. And now bring your awareness to your breath, taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Ah. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Ah. In out. Letting your breath come to its natural rhythm without controlling it in any manner. There is nothing to change here. This moment and this breath is perfect, just as it is. So allow yourself to notice the in breath and the out breath. Continue to notice your inhale and exhale. And as you continue to breathe and be aware of your breath in this manner, Notice, where do you feel the breath most clearly? Is it at the nostrils, or perhaps in the rise and fall of your chest? Or perhaps in the expansion and contraction of your belly? Pick one spot where you feel your breath most clearly and rest your attention there. Being aware of the full cycle of your breath, following the inhale from the beginning to end and the exhale from beginning to end. If your mind wanders, that's completely normal. That's what minds do. So just label it as thinking or feeling or sound or perhaps a body sensation. So give that distraction a label and gently come back to the breath without any judgment. Follow your breath in and out. And now, as we reach the end of this practice, one last time, take one full breath with all your attention on it. From the start of your inhale to the end of your exhale. You did great. Now to come out of this practice, become aware of your whole body. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. And finally, whenever you are ready, gently open your eyes. Noticing your environment. Welcome back. If you feel called to share your experience of the practice, feel free to do so in the comments. And if you don't feel like typing, you can always just press the heart to let me know that you resonated with the practice. And I see that some new people have joined us while we were meditating. So welcome to all of you. Welcome to the 67th episode of Wheel of Wisdom. And I want to let you know that in case you missed the meditation, the live is getting recorded. So you can always access the replays by going to the link tree in my profile. And also, meditation was just one part of this live. There's a lot more left, which involve tapping into wisdom in a fun way. So stay tuned until I, read the comments here. Thank you for the hearts. I'm glad that the practice resonated with you. So let's see. Hi, Amber. Welcome. So nice to see you here again. I love to see you all coming back, live after live. It just means a lot to me. Um, Rita says, strengthen connection. Thank you, Rita, for sharing your intention with all of us. That is a beautiful intention, and I hope that through the practice, you were able to build a connection with your breath, with your body, and even with all of us, because we all are breathing at the same time, even if we were at the different parts of the world, from the different parts of the world. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that, Rita. Mon says, just got here and your skin is glowing on fleek. Thank you so much, Mon. Yeah, I guess the glow of, I don't know, the meditation, calmness of some sort. Okay, let's see. Tiffany says hi. Hi, Tiffany. Welcome. So happy to have you here. Jana says, beautiful meditation. There is definitely some stress release through yawning there. Uh-huh. Yeah, yawning is a big indicator, that your system, like your, stress response system or the sympathetic system is, calming down, and your parasympathetic, meaning your rest and digest system, is coming forward to take the lead. So, yeah, I'm glad, that you got that signal from your body that you're getting relaxed. Thank you for sharing your experience, Jana. I appreciate that. Amber says, nice, Jana. Glad it was beneficial for you. I'm happy that Amber is celebrating the benefits that Jana reaped. Beautiful. I love the community and the excitement you have for each other. It is just so beautiful. Okay, guys. So now it's time for the Wheel of Wisdom. So let's see. So this is our Wheel of Wisdom. In case anyone is who is joining us for the very first time, So this wheel contains the name of 31 books out of the many books that I've read in the past 8 years in my own journey of transformation. And, we're going to spin the wheel in a moment and we're going to listen to the messages that, the universe, God, or divine source, spirit, consciousness, whatever you call it, so that is sending us because it is always there. It is always, guiding us. And all we need is to just be more receptive and open and to listen. So, this is the moment for that. And the wheel is going to choose a book for us to receive that wisdom from. So, before I spin the wheel, I invite you guys to bring to the forefront of your mind, any specific issue that you're going through in your life that you would like to receive some guidance on, or perhaps a specific area of your life in which you would like some direction or clarity. And if there is nothing specific regarding which you would like to receive some wisdom today, then you can set an intention that may I receive some general guidance from for today. So, let me know by pressing the hearts when you have set something in your mind, related to which you would like the wheel to answer your questions. Okay. Thank you for the hearts. Okay. So it seems like most of the people have something in their mind that they would like to receive some wisdom on. So I'm going to take a sip of water and then we will spin the wheel. Okay, thank you so much for the overflowing of the love. I appreciate that. Okay, so holding whatever came to your mind, whatever it is that you would like to receive some guidance on, so holding that in your mind as we spin this wheel. Okay, so the book that came up for us today is Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? And this book has been written by Dr. Julie Smith. So let's see what this book wants to convey to all of us. It is one of my recent addition to this wheel. So let's see. Give me a second to open the book. Okay. So, in a moment from now, I'm going to ask you guys to choose a number between certain numbers. And what I invite you guys to do is that I want you to connect with your own intuition and see which number is coming up for you. Trust that wisdom and mention that in the comments. And if anyone is joining us for the very first time, I want to let you know that there is no hurry. You don't need to rush at all. I won't choose the top one or two numbers. Instead, I will go through the numbers, that you mention and choose the number that I feel called to by tuning into my own intuition. So, yeah, this is a space for that to connect with our inner wisdom. So, I invite you guys to choose a number between 29 to 245. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Asha. Thank you, Alicia. How do how can I pronounce your name? It is unique. So can you like type the phonetics? Alicia. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So thank you, Alicia, Rita, Lisa, Amber, Jean, and Jana for choosing the numbers. Okay. Thank you, Sharon. Hi, Aurelia. Welcome. I'm happy to have you here. And feel free, if anyone is joining us right now, feel free to choose a number between 29 to 245. Okay. Because I'm going to just choose a number intuitively among all of these. So it doesn't matter if you weren't the first one to mention the number. Okay, let's see. Which number am I feeling called to? Okay. So the number that is calling me is 221, and the number has been chosen by Alicia for all of us. And thank you, Ariela and Sharon, for mentioning the numbers. So let's see what this page want to convey to us. Page number 221. Okay, so it seems like it is more of a exercise. Give me a second. Okay, so this exercise is about helping us go through like shame, the emotion of shame. So, you know, that might come up whenever you make a mistake and feel embarrassed when did something that you weren't supposed to do or stuff like that. So, the author says shame can be intense and extremely painful. Here is a list of tips for building resilience to the shame associated with setbacks and failure. So I'm sure that everyone present here might be familiar with failing at a certain point in our life at something, or yeah, just going through it towards something and having those setbacks, lacking behind or not things not going according to our plan and stuff like that. So when we feel the emotion of shame in the context of a failure or a setback, then the author says that we can follow the following tips around that. So the first tip the author gives is be vigilant about your choice of language. I am statements lead into those global attacks on character and your worth as a person that feed and re-trigger the same. So basically, Alicia says, so amazing that you picked same number. Feel so connected in the moment. I'm glad that that it resonated with you, Alicia. And the first tip that the author gives is that be mindful of that inner dialogue, the inner story, and especially the thoughts that you are saying to yourself. For example, I am so stupid. So especially any statement with which I am is attached, because I am is a powerful, set of words, which is often used in affirmations. So you can guess that how it might have a negative impact on you when you are in that stage, because usually So usually it's like, something that we did or did not do. So there's a difference between behavior and identity. And when the feeling of shame come up, you might see that your inner dialogue is modified in a way that you are no more focusing on the behavior itself, and now you are attacking your own identity. You are, reinforcing those maybe limiting beliefs that you hold about yourself, that, since this happened, see, I'm not capable. I am so stupid that I made this mistake. I am so lazy that I was not able to follow through the healthy habit that I wanted to, you know. So be mindful of the I am statements. Notice what you are attaching to your own identity in that moment. And it is important when you notice these statements to differentiate from the identity and see that what behaviors of mine are making me conclude this way about myself. Okay. And why I say behavior and not results, because results are not in our control. So if you had a failure, if you were preparing for an exam, for example, and you were not selected, then the result in itself was not in your hand. Okay. But the behavior, the efforts you put in, how you put those efforts, like what kind of a person you were while you were putting those efforts, the intention behind that, all of these are in your control. So when you do fail, notice the I am statements, recognize it, and just by recognizing it, there would be a space between you and your thoughts, and you would recognize that this is a story about me going on, which is not going to serve me. It is just going to make me go down the spiral and just feel even more worse. So when you notice these statements, I am this or I am that, notice what was the behavior that made you conclude that I am this kind of person, the kind of person that you don't want to be. So notice that. So what you are basing those judgments on. And then once you have the behavior, then you can rectify it. This is something you do. And the next time you cannot do it, or yeah, change it in some manner rather than just changing your whole identity. Because once you identify with that label, it would become difficult to do something opposite to it. So that is the first tip that the author mentioned. Just a moment, drink some water. I'm feeling like a lot thirsty today. Okay. The second tip that the author gave in this particular terms in this particular issue of dealing with the shame associated with setbacks or failure is, when reflecting on what happened, stay very specific to the behavior that you consider to be a mistake. So, yeah, just what I said in the explanation, and be very specific about the behavior that you consider to be a mistake. One behavior or set of behaviors is not the whole you. So, there are different aspects of you. You are not just limited to only those set of behaviors that you did. You maybe you were working on your, I don't know, for example, go with the exams. You're working on your academics or career or something like that, but that does not define the whole of you. Whatever you did or didn't do, you are also other things, like you are an amazing, I don't know, sister, or a wonderful dad, whatever it is. So you are all the other things as well. So don't just let this thing color your whole perspective of you, and also know which specific behaviors you did that you don't want to continue anymore. So yeah, that is the second step. The third step the author mentions is, acknowledge that you are not alone in feeling this way. After a failure or setback, it is normal for most humans to become vulnerable to feelings of shame and to focus on the thoughts of self loathing. Those thoughts are seen across the world, but you are not necessarily helpful or but are not necessarily helpful or accurate. So again, it is a common human experience to have these different kinds of thoughts, you know around I am not good enough, I'm not capable enough, you know I, maybe I didn't put enough effort, so I'm not worthy of happiness or of success, whatever kind of thoughts that you're having. So these are common experiences, but it doesn't make them accurate, meaning it doesn't make them helpful. There is nothing right or wrong, everything is subjective, but it doesn't make it helpful for you to continue doing that way. Even if it is a common human experience, even if most people go through the same kind of thoughts or the same kind of feelings when they, feel came across a failure or setback. Not all people, because again, it depends on the kind of mindset they have. But yeah, it is a common experience that other people might also have when they face failure. And this does remind me, I actually do have a course on Insight Timer around this, around, identifying and changing the thinking errors that people make that make their life even more miserable, which are like common errors that all humans or most of the humans make. And yeah, I have mentioned like the techniques that you can use you know, to overcome those thinking patterns of yourself. So yeah, let me, share that course in case anyone is interested. And this is, by the way, this is my most popular course on Insight Timer as well. I have like, I think around 3,000 people or something in this particular course, and they have found it helpful. So, in case you're interested, you can check this one out. Jana says, I guess we unconsciously invalidate the good things about us when we feel low and lose track of what we did wrong in the first place. Exactly. I'm glad, Jana, that you brought this important element in, here. So when we are in a low mood, it is very less likely and it is very difficult to remember things that put us in a different kind of a mood. So if you are in a low mood, it is very difficult for you to remember things that make you feel proud of yourself, that make you feel happy and stuff like that. And it is very easier to think of the memories or events from the past that aligns with the current mood that you're having. So that is why, when we get into that negative spiral, when we get enrolled in that initial negative story and we stay engaged in that, we believe it, then we would start finding evidences from our past, that how I am not capable enough, how I have failed in the past, how, I'm doing this again and all of that. And that is why, we go down and down and down the spiral, being burdened of all the evidences that supports our current mood or our current belief system. So that is how our mind functions. And if in that moment you can remind yourself, of the good things about you, as Jana mentioned, or the things that you did well, then it can help you balance the mood a little bit. It is difficult, for a mind to naturally do this, but you can do this intentionally because you have the control. It is not your mind controlling things. If you are intentional enough, if you have developed enough mindfulness to be able to do this thing, because that is the quality that help you recognize that this is a negative story that is going on in my head and this is not helpful. And it also give us, that space to choose a different response, to choose a different feeling and stuff like that. So yeah, so thank you, Jana, for mentioning that. And yeah, let me also share you with you guys the course on mindfulness, because yeah, I have made, I think, multiple courses related to that. But the first one that you can start with, in case you would like to cultivate the quality of mindfulness, and not just like a formal practice where you are sitting in a quiet room, in a lotus posture and doing, focusing on your breath, which is mindfulness, but just one aspect of it. You also need to learn to practice it or to become more mindful in your daily life. And that is a lot more fun. I love that part of mindfulness very much, to include that when I'm going through my day to day life, you know, outside of the question, when my eyes are open and I am in the world, in the midst of the world, and I have to, I'm dealing with all the stress and everything. So in that moment, if you would like to know how can mindfulness help you and exactly what to do, how to apply it, then you can try this particular course. Thank you for all the hearts, that came in while I was speaking. I appreciate that. They encourage me to continue speaking and let me know that you're resonating with it. So let's see. So there are like a lot more points in this. So would you like me to continue with this, or would you like me to, um, maybe choose a different page from the same book, or spin the wheel again and choose a different book? Okay, Lisa was ready with her votes. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Lisa, for your vote. And other people, anyone else who would like to vote? Should we continue with the same book? Should we cover all the points, choose a different page from the same book, or a different book altogether, like spin the wheel again? Okay, so people want different. Yeah, I know that is more fun. Okay, so we are going to go with a different book. Thank you, Lisa and Jana, for your votes. So let's see which book wants to come to us now. So the book that came for all of us is The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down. And the subtitle of this particular book is How to Be Calm in a Busy World. And this book is written by Heyman Sunim. So let's see what this book has to offer to us. Again, the name of the book is The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down. Okay, so let's see. Hmm. Okay. So again, I invite you guys to choose a number between 15 to 130. Okay, no hurry. Again, take your time to see which number comes through. And I'm going to just choose a number amongst all of the numbers that you guys mentioned randomly, okay, intuitively. So don't worry about being in a rush. And know that whoever number that I choose, it doesn't mean that that reading is just for that person. It is, also for everyone present here because that's why you're here. So you were meant to hear that message. Kathleen says, what was the name of the courses you recommended? Yeah, sure, Kathleen. So the first course that I mentioned in relation to recognizing your thinking errors was, um, give me a second. I don't remember the name of my courses. I remember the content, but I forget the names. Give me a second. Yeah. So that course was Master Your Thoughts by Overcoming Common Thinking Errors. Okay, Master Your Thoughts by Overcoming Common Thinking Errors. And the second course that I recommended in relation to mindfulness was The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Mindfulness Meditation. The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Mindfulness Meditation. Okay. You're welcome, Kathleen. And you can also just, go to my profile in the courses section. You will see all the 7 courses that I have on Insight Timer in case you are interested. So Lisa has chosen a number, Jana has chosen a number. Other people, would you like to also pitch in? Would you like to mention a number that is coming up for you between 15 to 130? And in the meantime, if you guys are enjoying this live, if you got anything of value, and if you would like me to continue doing these lives, then you can always support me by pressing the donate button somewhere here, at the bottom. And yeah, and make a donation of whatever amount that you feel called to. There is always no pressure, you know. Your presence is much appreciated. Okay, let's go with the numbers then, that Lisa and Jana mentioned. So let's see. Okay, I'm feeling called to check out page number 99. Okay, let's see what this page wants to convey. So the author says, by complaining that something we have to do is too hard, we add another layer of difficulty. So take a deep breath and then just do it. Sounds simple, right? Well, it is kind of, we make it complex, by adding resistance to whatever is, we have to do something, and yes, it might feel hard, but then we also try to resist it that if only it was not this way, if only I got some help, or why does this have to be this way and stuff like that. So we add resistance to the task itself, which was already hard, and then we increase like a layer of difficulty over it. Now we have to now surpass the resistance and then do the task that we think of it as hard. So the author says, just take a deep breath and do it. It is kind of like that rule by Mel Robbins, I think, the 5 second rule. Just if you are trying to do something and just count to five, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just do it. Instead of just letting your mind take over yourself, like when you are waking up in the morning and you have to go to exercise, just count in your mind 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go, and just do that task. Take your step out of the bed rather than just letting your mind convince you that it's too cold today, or you haven't gotten enough sleep, or or whatever excuse that your mind is going to give you. So take a deep breath, do this kind of exercise, and just do that particular thing. Jana says, I added coffee to as many tasks as I can. It helps sometimes. Well, I have no comments on that. Whatever works for you. We have to explore whether that is helpful for you or not. I cannot do that in the one comment. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing what works for you. And I'm sure that many people uses coffee or things like that to to help them to make the task somewhat pleasing or tolerable or whatever it is. And again, we don't have to rely on these things if we don't resist doing that task. If we just accepted that this is what it is and what would be the first step towards it, and just take that step after taking a deep breath. So the author further mentions that write down on a sheet of paper the names of the places you want to travel before you die. So write down all the name of the places that you want to travel to before you die and the people you hope to meet, the concerts you know you will enjoy, the sports game you are dying to see, the restaurants that you have to try. Then experience everything on the list, item by item. Nobody needs to know about the list. Allow yourself a little secret of your own. It will feel good to do something just for yourself. Life is like jazz. Much of it is improvised. We cannot control all the variables. We must live. We must live it with panache and flair, regardless of what it throws at us. So, yeah, if that reading resonated with you, you can press the heart. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. Thank you, guys. Hmm. Okay, so again, we have some time. So, yeah, let's do three readings for today. We have done two for the last reading. Again, I ask you guys, should we continue with the same book or would you like a different book? Lisa says different book. Uh-huh. Lisa have so much fun when we spin the wheel, right? Okay, let's see which book wants to come to us now. Yeah, Lisa says yes. Okay, so let's spin the wheel. Lovely book. I think this is the first time that this particular book has come up. So the name of the book is How to Love, and the book has been written by Thich Nhat Hanh. Okay, so let's see what this beautiful book has to offer. And like Thich Nhat Hanh has all these short books around that how to rest, how to walk, how to love, how to fight and stuff like that. So I love these books. Okay, give me a second to open the book. Okay. So again, I invite you guys to choose a number between 9 to 112. Okay. Take your time to see which number comes up for you. And again, if I choose a number that you have mentioned, it doesn't mean that reading is just for you. It means that piece of wisdom wanted to come through and it is coming through from you. So you are that source of wisdom. And since everyone is present here, so it means that they were meant to hear that message. So know that. Thank you, Julie, for sharing a number. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, April. Anyone else who would like to share a number that is coming up for them? Thank you, Jana. Thank you, Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. Happy to have you here. It must be pretty early for you. But still, thank you so much for joining us. I am so glad for your presence. And by the way, guys, Caitlin is another teacher, a fellow teacher on Insight Timer, an amazing teacher. And yeah, I would recommend checking her tracks out and her lives out. Okay, let's see. Rob says, good morning, Anisha and all from Boston. Wonderful advice. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. I'm glad that you are resonating with the readings that we have done today. And thank you for choosing a number. Hi, Debu. Nice to see you here again. Thank you for the number. Caitlin says, oh, thanks, friend. Love your space and guidance. Me too. I love having you here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the number that I'm feeling called to is 45. Thank you, Rob, for choosing that number for all of us. So let's see what is on page number 45. So the author says, love is a beautiful word, and we have to restore its meaning. When we say, I love hamburgers, we spoil the word. We have to make the effort to heal words by using them properly and carefully. True love includes a sense of responsibility and accepting the other person as he or she is, with all his or her strengths and weaknesses. If you only like the best things in a person, that is not love. You have to accept her or his weaknesses and bring your patience, understanding, and energy to help him or her transform. This kind of love brings protection and safety. So I guess, we all have our own definition of love, especially when it comes to loving someone. And yeah, what the author mentions that love means to him is, to accept, to understand that person, to accept him or her with all the weaknesses, all the strengths, all the aspects of his or her identity, and to understand that person, to be understanding towards what other person is feeling in this moment, towards what is alive in this person, whether it is in terms of the emotion or the underlying need. And then, having the patience to help that person transform if they want to. So not just trying to change the person, but yeah, just holding that space, that kind of a space in which they can transform, or creating such a relationship which brings the best out of each and everyone. So yeah, that is the definition. I'm going to go with another number, although this was supposed to be the last reading. But yeah, let's do one more. Among these numbers. So the number that I'm feeling called to is April is 50. That has been chosen by April. Thank you, April, for choosing that number. So let's see what is on this page. Okay, it is kind of like a practice that you guys can apply in your relationships as well, especially if you are, angry or upset. So the author, the heading for this is three helpful sentences. The author says it is not healthy to keep anger inside for too long. If you are too upset to speak calmly, you can write a note and put it where the other person will see it. So, again, the author is saying that do not choose passive aggression where you just keep holding it inside and you are just, doing things passive aggressively. You are, not even expressing that. And yeah, and sometimes the other person has no clue that you are angry or you are in that kind of a pain within you. And also the author suggests to not react out of anger. So, you know don't be passive aggressive, and also don't be actively aggressive, like shouting and being physically aggressive or something like that. So if you're feeling too upset to express yourself clearly, just write a note at that moment. And here are the three sentences that may help. First, my dear, I am suffering, I'm angry, and I want you to know it. Which is an important element, because yeah, sometimes the other person don't even realize that that we are suffering from anger in some way, that we are holding on to something. So yeah, letting them know first in a very calm manner. The second thing is, I am doing my best. This means you're practicing mindful breathing, and you are refraining from doing or saying anything out of anger. So basically, you are applying whatever you have learned to regulate yourself in that moment, whether it is, breathing mindfully, whether it is using some or other form of regulation technique, in order to help you feel more centered and to not say or do something out of anger, to not react. So you're trying to be your best to respond, rather than reacting. And in case, just pausing here, in case anyone would like to, know more about the regulation techniques that you guys can use at this moment, I do have like a playlist of sorts. So if you would like that, I can mention that here. And if not, then that's okay as well. So I'm going to drink some water. So the first sentence was letting them know whatever is alive within you. Second was to let them know that you're trying your best, you are doing this or that, maybe not being specific, but just letting them know that you're trying your best to not speak or to not do anything out of anger. And third is, please help me. So sometimes, when the other person is involved in the conflict itself, then we need to communicate our needs, and we need their help to meet our needs as well as their needs in that whole process. So the author says that memorize these sentences or write them on a small piece of paper the size of a credit card and put it in your wallet. Then when you are angry, you take it out and you will know exactly what to do. So the author says, yeah, just keep a reminder with yourself in the form of, like, cutting a piece of paper, writing these three sentences on that piece of paper, and yeah, and taking it out whenever you don't know what to do, whenever you are feeling anger within you. Again, the three sentences are, my dear, I am suffering, I'm angry, and I want you to know it. I am doing my best right now. Please help me. So instead of telling the person what to do to meet your need, which might not be meeting other person's need, just ask them for help and maybe even figure it out together that how you guys can meet each other's need as well, in this situation. Because oftentimes when there is a conflict of the ways in which people think that our need would be met, and rather than the need itself. So yeah, so it's helpful to recognize, to share what each of us need, and then yeah, try to meet that need together and create a win-win situation in that conflict. So I guess that's it for this particular live. If you enjoyed it, if you found anything of value, and if you would like to support me in continue doing what I love most, in continuing doing these lives day after day, then you can do so by making a donation of whatever amount that you feel called to. And if you are joining us for the very first time, I do have few announcements to make for you. The first announcement is that um, it is more of like a gift, that I am offering, that I have recently started offering women. So the gift is that I'm offering a complimentary session with me to all the women who attend my live. So if you are a woman who would be interested in a free 1 hour coaching session with me, you're welcome to message me on Insight Timer. Let me show you the way to message me. So go to my profile, okay? And if you are following me, you would see the follow button would become the donate button. Above it, three dots appear. Click on the three dots, go to message teacher. And here you can message me that, Anisha, I'm interested in that offer or something like that. And I would be honored to support you in your journey. April says, what a generous offer. Thank you, April. I'm glad that it resonated with you. And feel free to reach out. I would be happy to be of service in some manner. And I can promise you that if you do decide to take this offer, you're going to leave that session with at least one powerful insight, because that has happened with every single woman that I've worked with so far. So yeah, I can promise you that. Okay, so yeah, if anyone is interested, you can, message me. So that was my first announcement. The second announcement is that this whole live is getting recorded. So in case you missed, like, the meditation at the start, or maybe the readings, or you would just like to catch on to the previous lives, then you can catch the replays through my profile. Let me show you. Caitlin says, I was blessed with the call with Anisha, and it was such a fabulous, inspiring time. Thank you so much for, recommending me to all these women and, yeah, sharing your experience of it. I am so glad that you had a nice experience, Caitlin. And I too did, I had fun having that conversation with you. It was lovely. Okay, so the way to access the replays is go to my profile again. Let me put my profile here. Um, Go to the profile, go to the about section. Okay, scroll all the way down, and you will see a link tree. Okay, click on the link tree. When you click on it, you will see Wheel of Wisdom replay option. Okay, somewhere here. So you can, click on this and you will see a whole playlist of all the lives of Wheel of Wisdom up until now. So yeah, I have created a whole playlist so you guys can, play there. Meaning you can tap into the wisdom by getting in touch with your intuition and choosing a number between 1 to 67, because that is the number of videos that have been recorded. And yeah, whatever number comes up, just watch that particular video, knowing that that message wanted to come through. So yeah, you can, try that out. And although it take like 1 hour for this whole, video recording to get uploaded on my channel. So in that case, if you would like immediate access, then what you can do is that you can join my group on Insight Timer. Let me type the name of the group. Yeah, so after each live, within 5 or 10 minutes, I post a summary in this group, including the type of meditation, including the name of the books, all the exact readings that we did and everything. So kind of a summary so you don't miss out on anything. Rob says, thanks again, Anisha. So much to learn. So grateful to you. I'm glad I'm happy to have you and thank you for your presence, Rob. I'm glad that some part resonated with you. So yeah, you can either search the name of the group on Insight Timer or you can, go to my profile again on the homepage only. Scroll all the way down. Yeah, so below the playlist, you will see wonderful beings. So yeah, this is my little community here, and I would love to have you guys here because I update here about like the summaries. And also, if a new track is released, I, mention that in this group so that you stay tuned with the content because just like we did a meditation at the start of this live, I am doing, at least one meditation each live. And we have recorded around 77 meditations so far. So yeah, and now I am publishing them one by one on Insight Timer as a free track so that everyone can access them. So yeah, and I have even like created a playlist for it so that you can easily access the meditations from the space. So the playlist name is Wheel of Wisdom Meditations, and it has like 20 tracks so far. And yeah, about the other playlist, in case anyone would like to, know about the regulation technique that I mentioned. So I have created like a playlist of that as well. Self-soothing techniques. So the name of that playlist is this. And it includes the regulation techniques like that the therapists recommend their clients to help them center themselves. And yeah, and to feel more grounded before they begin to process the emotion. So you can check this out and you can also check like this mindfulness meditation challenge. So I have tried to arrange everything on my profile in the playlist so that it is easy for you to navigate. So yeah, I have like created all these playlists here. So yeah, so that you feel easy to navigate the content and everything. Um yeah, so I guess that's it for this particular live. My next live is on. Let me like share that here. Is day after tomorrow, and it is, around 3 hours later than this time. Or maybe right now, what is the time? Yeah, it is, I guess, 2 hours later than this particular time. So yeah, if you would like to come back, you can, join me in that next live. And thank you so much for your presence. Um, and again, if you like the session in any manner, if you found anything of value from this live, you can support me by making a donation, helping me doing what I love most without, yeah, without having to figure out other options financially and yeah, being able to give my more of my time here on these lives or on creating content on Insight Timer or on, giving the complimentary session and stuff like that. So yeah, your donations help me do that. So if you are interested, you can, if you want to support me, you can press the donate button somewhere here. Srinidhi says, thank you, Anisha. Thank you, Srinidhi, for tuning in. I am so glad to have you after so long. I'm seeing you here. So thank you so much. I'm glad that, the timing matched or something. um, okay, guys. So I think, yeah, there is no more announcements left for now. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. If you would like to, if you like my energy or something, or me, or for some, or the way I, say things, explain things, or stuff like that, then you can check out my content by, following me, and you will get notified about the next live, the next tracks that get released, and stuff like that. I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. Thank you for tuning in and spending this time with me. Bye bye. Jana says, thank you for your knowledge and for sharing your time. Appreciate it, Jana. Lisa says, thank you so much, Anisha. Thank you, Lisa, for tuning in. I'm glad that you guys enjoy the space. Bye bye.